Take it off, get a good mental picture of how you need it. It has just like that, we are back at it, folks. We are back at it. We are still home here during, again, our winter, and I'm still involved in little projects here and there. You know, I do things to kind of stay a little busy. So today it's not going to be any different. I have a few little projects that I want to work on today. They're not necessarily things that are broken. They're more of little things, little creature comforts to make my life easier. So, without getting into fluff and stuff like that, let's just jump right on it. I think I have 3, maybe 4 things that I'm gonna compile today, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. And we're gonna start off number 1 right here at the side of the coach, right here at this particular. By the way, I found out the other day, you know, you find something new every time you work on these things, you find something out new. These are called Admiral locks or Admiral latches. I mean, that's how I found them on the internet to be described. I'm not sure if it's got another name to it. I found them like that. If there is another name, please put it down in the comment, share it with me. I'm always willing to learn something new. But having said that, we're gonna work on these today. This compartment happens to be the propane compartment. I have a 40 pound tank on this side and one on the other side. Now these Admiral locks, there's 2 of them. There's one here and there's one down here. These Admiral locks, they're called Admiral locks, but they really don't lock. Technically, they're not supposed to lock because in the event of an emergency, the fire department needs to have access to these. Well, these particular locks have I guess it's called an O-ring or have a washer right on the bottom of them. And every time I go to wash the coach, again, remember I mentioned creature comforts or ways to make my life easier. Every time I go to wash the coach, as soon as I try to wipe these down, and hopefully they won't make me look like a fool now, I'm going to show you guys. Every time I try to wipe it down to clean around here, I get, you can't really tell on the video, but I get streaks. Look. I get streaks. No matter how many times I wipe it down, I get streaks. Okay? Again, not a big deal. Look, I just had another one. This is waterless wash wax. So, you know, I try to clean around. Look, there's another one. Okay? No matter how many times, look, there's an even bigger one. Every time I try to wipe it down, it just makes. I didn't realize it was going to get bigger, but you get the point. Every time I go to wash these things or wipe down the coach, I get these streaks, and it comes from those washers. Those washers are made out of, I guess, a material, a plastic or some sort of rubber material that, because of the elements, it just gives off these black streaks. So today, I found on the internet, I found washers that are made for these Admiral locks. I found them in clear. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna switch them out. I'm gonna show it to you guys, and let's see if it works. All right, so as I was saying, Admiral locks tubular cam gasket washers, okay? This is exactly what they look like. I found these, whoops, broke the bag, my bad. I found these on Amazon. They were $8 for, I'm sorry, $6 for 5 of them. They look like that. They're the same thickness of the ones that I have here, but they are clear. So hopefully we won't have any black streaks. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this one, And I'm gonna bring you guys along for the ride just so you guys can see. Tools I'm gonna need for this project. I'm gonna need a large Phillips head screwdriver to take off this little bolt right here. Very soft. Okay, like everything in life, when you take it off, get a good mental picture of how you need it. It has these little flanges sitting up here. I don't know if you guys can see it. And obviously that's so it could catch on to the lock. Set those aside. And then the other tool I'm going to use is a crescent wrench. And basically we undo this bolt up top. Unscrew it all the way. That's off. You're done with the tools for now. Let me put this over here and let me show you guys what the other side looks like. So now that the screws are off, we could just wiggle it out. The lock comes out. Basically the door is actually cut, and this, you notice it has a flat side, on it. You know, just remember how you had it on there. And basically the little neoprene or plastic or whatever washer slides right off. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to keep them just in case. Now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to now use the same cleaner that I had before. And I'm going to clean the area real good. It already looks better. I don't know. Call me lazy, call me whatever. It's just one of those things that would drive me nuts. So now I take the lock, install the, what did I do with it? Oh, did I put it back in the bag? I guess I did. I will take the washer out. Slide the new washer in, just like that. Wiggle the lock back into its place. And now we go to the other side and install the locks. Just like that. The lock goes back on. Get your crescent wrench. I mean, this isn't a structural item, so I don't think it needs to be on deathly tight. If you want to go one step further, I don't have any, maybe a little Loctite would help, so that it doesn't wiggle loose. But that's it. It's nice and tight right there. Now we need to put the lock back on, or the little piece here that goes back on. There's actually, by the way, I didn't mention it, this square actually fits into a little square area here, so it's very simple. There's no movement, so that's why this doesn't have to be on like extremely tight. That's it. Lock works. Let me show you the other side, how clean it looks. So now that the black washer is off, we have the new clear washer installed. Look how clean that looks. And if I spray, I hope it doesn't prove me wrong. If I spray and wipe down, nothing comes off, which is exactly what I was shooting for. Here, I'll give you a real close-up look. Super, super clean. It's exactly what I was looking for. So that worked out great. That worked out great. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other. Remember, there's 2 on each door. I have the other side to do, and I have 1 more to do here. I'm gonna show you this bottom one. This bottom one is really nasty. So here's the bottom one. Here, look at this. No matter how many times I wipe it, it's just nasty. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this one. No need to bore you guys with the going through it again. You already saw how one changes. I mean, you change one, you change them all. I'm gonna knock this out and then we'll move on to the next project. All right, so that takes care of that. Let's move on to the next project. The next project takes us back here to the rear of the coach. Let me flip this camera around and show you guys where I'm talking about. So as you guys know, I have the 3791 RD. 3791 RD stands for rear den, and as a result of our rear den, it happens to be elevated. And because it's elevated, I have all this storage back here, which I gotta be honest with you, can work for you or work against you. Sometimes you find yourself in a position where you're overpacking or taking too many things, but that's neither here nor there. That's for another video. So today we're gonna work on this particular shelf right now. Now this particular shelf, when you press or depress this button, it comes out just like this. So you have access to all the stuff. Obviously, I'm in my backyard, so it doesn't come out as far as I need it to. But for the most part, it comes out this far, and it locks when you close it, like this. Okay, you just press this down, and it locks into place. Now, what we're gonna do with this and why we're gonna do something is as a result of something that Myrna saw on one of the RV forums. Now, the way it was explained in that RV forum that Myrna was looking at, and it was a total mess. I saw pictures of it. What happened was this thing has a capacity to carry 800 pounds. I mean, if you're dumb enough to put 800 pounds worth of stuff on this, then so be it. You know, that's on you. You might be a little bit overweight as far as what you're carrying. Let's not get personal. It's entirely up to you. The problem that these particular campers had is this door here, when it's closed, I mean, it's a nice door, but it's not like super, super heavy. What happened was that latch undid itself, the one that I just showed you. It undid itself in transit, and basically the whole tray came back, blew the door open, okay? And these people were traveling down the road with this tray hanging out and all their stuff going all over the highway. So, you know, Myrna looked at that. She brought it to my attention. She showed me the video. Immediately I said, okay, that is something that, you know, is very concerning, obviously. I don't want to have my door bust open. I surely don't want my stuff all over the highway. So, you know, I look at things like that and I see that they can happen. I mean, they've already happened to somebody else. They can happen. So I said to them, you know, I got to do something about it to make sure that that we heed the warning and learn from somebody else's mistakes and fix it. So this is what I got planned. So this is pretty heavy, heavy gauge steel that we're dealing with. But the way I look at it, or the way I envision what I have in my mind, is if I drill a small hole right here, okay, and then I drill a small hole in this little flap right here, I can probably fit a cotter pin, and I can just, after locking the door, I can install a cotter pin there, and hopefully that will stop it from flying open. So that's the thought. I'm thinking somewhere right around here, somewhere very accessible. Put in a cotter pin. I got to check. I have cotter pins there. I just got to make sure I have one long enough, and that'll solve my problem. All right, so here's what I got. I didn't have to go out and buy these. These were left over from when I did the satellite project. That was a good video. I did that like a year ago. If you guys want to see that, the satellite project that I attached to the ladder whenever we go out, that's a great video. If you want to see it, look it up. It's in my video logs. What I got here, what I'm working with is this. I mean, it could either be called a cotter pin. Some of them are called clevis pins. This one happens to have a multi-hole. So basically to keep it, tighter, and it's got your little cotter, cotter pin, whatever. I just measured it. It is long enough. So basically all I got to do is I got to drill a hole big enough to fit this size that goes all the way through, and that way I can slide this in whenever I'm not, whenever I'm not using the slide tray. Slide it in, slide the little cotter pin in, and we're good to go. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and see if I can drill through this heavy gauge metal. I'm not sure if I have a drill bit that'll work. Let's give it a shot. All right, so first things first, let's get started. First of all, the lip here that I'm going to drill through on the bottom here, and I showed it to you guys earlier, is a little lower than this. So ideally what I want to do is, not ideally, I absolutely definitely have to, I want to be able to drill through here right into the correct lip here so that the cotter pin fits. So I think the best way to do is mark more or less where I want this pin to be at, which is right about here. Here in this slide tray, right here at the end, I carry a ladder. So right here in this area is, it won't be in the way. So this is probably the best place to drill at. Now I just got to find out how far down I need to drill, and then I can pull this tray out and do all the drilling out here with comfort, where I have a better angle on it, because right here it's going to be kind of difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can figure out by measuring how far down. So from the lip to the top is 1 7/8 inches, or I'm sorry, 1.5 inches. It's 1.5 inches. So if I kind of come over here and mark 1.5 inches, theoretically I should be right on target. But we all know how theoretically works. Doesn't work well sometimes. So 1.5 inches from the top, and right on our mark is where I should be. So here is the 1.5 inches right at my mark. And it should be right here. So there you go, right there is technically where I should drill. Let's see how that works out. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and try with this Cobalt drill bit. If you guys remember the project that I did with the hinge, the piano hinge, this is the drill bit that worked marvels. Let's see if at least we can get this hole started with this bit, and then we'll go from there. I'll try and either put this on time lapse or add some music to it, because I'm sure you don't want to hear me drilling at least too much. Let's give it a shot. Working a little bit, not great. I don't really want to force it too much. There we go. Right through. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this back, and to line up the hole on this little thing, on this little lip, I'm going to go right through this hole that I just made. and hopefully we'll be right on it. So there we go. Whoops. Let me push some of this stuff that I carry with me back here in. Let me look. Oh yeah, I'm right on it. So that's a start. Let's see if I can drill right through it. Worked like a charm. Now, I'm gonna get a bigger drill bit and see if I can enlarge that hole. Well, let's use one of these. See if that works. There, but I don't want to make the hole way too big, so now I'm going to use a drill bit, if I have one, that I can continue the hole on the other side. Let's see what we got. That's good. I need to go up just a little more to fit the other side. So let me see if this one will work. Let me see if I have one between this size and this size. Somewhere right in the middle. Now, ideally, I can continue drilling with this and just push my way through, but then that means that this hole on this side will be much bigger than the hole on the other side, and I don't really want that because I don't want a lot of play. I want this cotter pin to be pretty snug, and as it is right now, this hole here is perfect. I just need to do the other side a little bit bigger. And I think I found the drill bit to make that a reality. And if that doesn't work, I got this one here, which is 7/32. That was actually smaller. This is the same as this one, I think. This is the same as this one. All right. So there you go. Cotter pin fits through. Now, I really want it from that side. There you go. Let me bring you guys in a little closer so you can check it out. So that's how I want it to look. So even if I hit the lever over here on this side, the door will not move. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. And then I can just slide my cotter pin in, and that issue is taken care of. Like I said at the beginning, not a big deal, but some people have experienced that issue, and I'd rather err on the side of caution and get something done so it doesn't happen to me like it happened to those folks. So that's my fix. Super easy. Drilled right through it. Cotter pin fits, and that's it. Now, let's move on to the next little chore. All right, so that's it on that. Let's jump to the next topic, or the next item. And this next item is not necessarily a hack. It's not anything that we're fixing. It's basically, again, another comfort item. And it's right here. We're gonna stay right here on this tray back here. Now, the stuff that I carry back here in this tray are, I carry 2 totes, those Home Depot black and yellow totes. And I have, items that I may need. I have tools. I try to keep it as light as possible, but nonetheless, there's a certain amount of things that you must bring with you just so that you can fix things as they come up, as they arise. So I carry the totes back here, and I carry some lounge chairs. And in doing so, aside from the tray, which is accessible, okay, aside from the possibility of it sliding out, you also have the possibility or the surety that everything that you put on this tray bounces. Okay, how do I know this? Because I've arrived at campgrounds in the past. I've arrived at campgrounds and my stuff has been all over the place. So one way to do that, or one way to correct that issue, is I show you here. I tie it down with a ratchet strap. The only problem that I have with the ratchet strap is that, you're dealing with it and it looks like this. Okay, you tie it, you ratchet, you strap the stuff down, and then you have all this excess cord. It's just messy. Again, that's not who I am. I don't like that. I like to have things pretty neat and stuff like that. And as a result of that, I saw something came across my Instagram page, and it's these new ratchet straps. Okay, these new ratchet straps that you connect. Okay, let's say for instance, I connect it. Connect it here, and then connect it here, and then you ratchet them. You ratchet. Tie everything down. Here, let me change this. Let me change the camera so you guys can see it better. All right, so you tie it together. It's nice and tight. And then when you're done, you open up the ratchet, you undo wherever it's at, you press the retract, and theoretically, well, I didn't have this open all the way. There you go. Theoretically, it ratchets right back up. And it's all nice and clean. You can set it aside until it's time to move again, and then you redo it. So, like I said, it had nothing to do with fixing anything. It's a matter of fixing the clutter. So I'm going to give these a try. I just bought them. They're not cheap. I'll tell you that much. They were $35 for 2 of them. I do carry 2, or I tie things down here. One in the front that I already showed you, and then one back here. I'm going to go ahead and use these. No, again, they're not a sponsor of the channel. These were just, these are called Smart Straps. This is the manufacturer that I chose, and I'm going to give them a shot. If they work, great. If they don't, you'll definitely hear back from me, and I'll let you know if they're junk or not. But that's another little thing that I just added to make my life a whole lot easier. On to the next one. All right, so moving right along, and for the last item of the day, we bring you back to this area, this door here. If you guys remember, I changed out this hinge onto a piano hinge, and because it was busted. The original hinge was busted. Now, in order to maybe save or prolong the life of the hinge that I now attached, and just moving forward, because they have them in every other door. I don't know why they didn't add it on this door, even though they have the brackets already mounted. The RV came with it like this. I went ahead and I purchased 2 brand new shocks, stays. I've heard them called a couple of different things. I went ahead and purchased 2 of them. They are aftermarket. I got them on Amazon. They were only like 25 bucks or 27 bucks for the pair. They are rated at 60 pounds, just like the one on the other side. The only problem with it is, now mind you, these just snap onto place, and then you have a base that goes down here. Well, they forgot to send me the base. So this is the next project, but we're gonna have to reconvene. We're gonna have to come back to this particular project to close out the video. I think today is Friday. I'm sorry, today's Thursday. They are set to arrive on Monday. We will reconvene here on Monday, and I'll show you how that goes. So it is not Monday. It is actually Tuesday. I did receive the parts that I was waiting for yesterday, and today we're going to, again, like I mentioned, reconvene on this project and hopefully end this video with this last step. So today we're going to jump on it. These are the brackets. Let's see if I can get you to look at it. These are the brackets, and they are gas springs mounting bracket. I guess that's the name for these items that I've had here. They are the same length as the ones on the other side. They are also rated for 60 pounds. I've already taken a measurement of where to mount these. It's 17 inches from the top to the side here. Those brackets require 5 screws on each bracket. These that I bought require 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount them. I'm gonna remain optimistic. Hope this works out. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how this works out. Should be pretty straightforward. I think. Got my self-tapping screws. We'll put those right here. I was just doing something on the other side of the coach that required a number 2 bit, but this does not. These screws that I'm using are stainless steel, and they are regular traditional Phillips. So let's start off with the first one right here. Boy, I almost screwed that up. Let's see how the other side goes. Yeah, they go right. They go on the inside here. That was pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. That takes care of that. Now, let me grab a screwdriver just in case I need to pop this out once I put it on. Hold on. Now I'm not sure if I explained it to you guys. That door on the other side basically only opens, and I'm going to show you guys the angle now. If I ever want to access or have this open to look at this map or this board, obviously all I got to do is unplug the actual gas springs, which is super easy, and then I can just open it in the manner in which it's sitting right now and just have it have the magnets do their thing. But I'm going to go ahead and open this so that I don't do both sides in case I'm doing something wrong, and I'm going to plug this in and see how that works. Sorry for the interruption. I had somebody knocking on my gate there. Let's go ahead and open this up, connect it, see if I got the same angle as I do on the other door, and then I'll do this other side. There you have it. And it's kind of holding it, but obviously it's only one, so it's coming down. I mean, it's taking a lot of the tension off, but it is coming down slowly. So I'm going to head and use my head again while I mark this other bracket. I've got it marked. There you go. So you just slide the clip down, and then you could, up to my pen. I don't know. So you slide the clip down, and then you can unclip it. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this one on now, and I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, that's it. That side's done. Let me hook them both up and see if it works the way it was intended to work. All right, so now I'm going to bring the door down, connect both shocks, and if everything works out correctly and they were rated for 60 pounds, then theoretically this door should stay up in the angle that I wanted it to stay. Only one way to find out, and you guys are going to see it right along with me. Let's see if it works out. All right, so first one is clipped in. Second one is clipped in. And by golly, the door is being held up. But now the true test is, did we measure it correctly? And is it going to close the way it's supposed to close? That's not bad. Let's see. Oh yeah. I think we have a successful, let me just make sure that there's